What is up, guys? King of Underworld back at you with another what if. What if Deku was, well, you know what I mean. What if Deku was Hisoka Part 6? Uh, yeah, sorry this comes out a bit later than usual. A bit tired and, also have to work on an assignment, which is, like, due tomorrow, but I got that finished, don't worry, guys. I'm not that bad of a student. And, yeah. Going back at you with one of the most morally questionable, what ifs so far. But yeah, I hope everybody likes this. Yeah, I'll have you to part 3 or 4 now. 3, I think. Come out on Thursday, and obviously the second part to the special will be coming out on Saturday. And also, let me know if you guys actually want me to seriously consider making a well, once one of these series finishes, I could or have another special. I could replace it to what if Deku was Deadpool? Who knows? It might be that way, it might not. But anyway, without any further ado, let's just get right into this. So a little recap is needed, as we'll covering the matches inside the sports festival. As Deku made it past most of his pretty well, managed to outsmart and outmaneuver the competition throughout all the events. Being able to trick somebody by using his bungee gum into a spiderweb-like construction, making it able to dance through the sky, just like a performing fairy. He was able to snatch away and surprise his opponents by using his texture surprise, hiding himself in camouflage and knocking out Todoroki. Then, breaking Bakugo's pride, making him to his ultimate little puppet, dancing around the arena, showing just how much of a big clown he truly was. This was the ultimate crescendo of Bakugo's downfall, as many people did watch this from the sidelines, in the shadows. Many heroes in shock that somebody would do this, and many villains smiling at the opportunity they got to see something just like this. And this is why we're going to jump right back into the new part. As well, after the sports festival, everybody got called in by Aizawa, as he'd say, alright, after the events of the sports festival, you all would have received a bunch of offers from pro heroes that would like to train you for internships. Normally we wouldn't do this, but thanks to the fact that your class seems to be so popular with the villains nowadays, well, it seems only natural that we should get you guys acquainted with this stuff earlier, as it's more beneficial to you as you get trained more, and allows you to defend yourself, and learn what it's like to really be a hero. As flicks up a remote as, he cast it out as the top vote wasn't actually Deku, but however it was Todoroki falling into a close second by Deku. People were saying, what? What? Why does he have the top? Why does Todoroki have the top spot, not Deku? So it's only natural. A humiliated Bakugo. They don't find that very hero-like. However, I'm very surprised that so many did put votes in, actually. So it's like, I guess that makes sense. After all, you gotta think of it like, you gotta think of it like an agency. Doesn't matter what kind of background you're from, as long as you can do the job well, nobody really cares. Then, who are you gonna pick? Deku? Says, call me Hisoka instead. I don't like that name given to me. It says, alright, Hisoka, who are you gonna pick? Says, I'm not sure, but definitely not on any of these D-listers, that's for sure. I want a challenge. I want someone who's strong enough to teach me something. As I said, well, that's gonna be quite hard. You excel in combat, so why don't you try a combat-based hero? Not a bad suggestion, but I'm also analytical as well. This might require more thought than I might think. Well, then I think it does. It says, well, you got a week to think about it. It says, well, I guess you're right. As after this, they also pick out their hero names. As, well, Aizawa really didn't want to deal with this, so he says, I'm not dealing with this shit. If I wanted to, well, try and help people pick up with their Boy Scout names, I might as well just quit. So, I brought someone who's more acquainted with this kind of stuff. Says, Midnight, would you come out, please? Says, Aizawa, do you not know how to make an entrance at all? Yeah, no, I'm good. Anyway, if you need me, I'll be on the floor sleeping. As he hobbles into his bag and just starts snoring off. Says, minding the dead body on the ground? Hello, I'm pretty sure you all know me as the R-rated hero Midnight. As Midnight says, well, of course I do. Everybody just basically looks at him with the eyes of just shut up, Mineta. And then she says, well, students, today I'm here to help you pick out your future hero names. After all, a good name helps the public, well, start cheering. A good name to cheer out while you're rescuing somebody is always very heartwarming to a hero. But not only that, if it's one that inspires confidence, they will know that you're there to protect them, and know that you're always going to be there in the nick of time. It says, now let's see what you guys think. Once you're done with your hero name, take it up and we'll review it. If you find it good, we'll keep it. If not, we'll have to think of an alternative. It says, alright. Aoyama tries to go first, however, Deku gets up and says, I've already decided this one a long time ago. Says, oh, Midoriya, you're the first one. Says, yes. I think it'd be appropriate. The mad magician hero, Hisoka. As says, well, it does have a nice ring to it, but why the mad magician? As he just says to Midnight well, with a devilish grin, he says, well, I inspire fear into the hearts of anybody who gets near me. Even people who think that they know me too well are often quite shocked. That's why I'm known as the Mad Magician. Says, well, I see. Not very, not very good focus towards yourself, but you seem to not mind. Says, there we go. As Aoyama just thinks, well, my name sucks. Because it's Aoyama, his name sucks anyway. And everybody else does their names like in canon. Except Bakugo would not have his out of control name thanks to his pride being shattered. And we wouldn't call himself King Explosion Murder. He would instead think of something different. The explosive hero, Dynamite. So you just think, wow, that's a really nice name. And from Bakugo, no less. As he'd go, oi, shut up! But as he locks eyes with Deku, he kind of just sits back down in his seat. And, well, everybody gets their names out. And things go as normal. And the end of the day pops around as, well, Hisoka just walks home. As he was doing so, somebody grabbed him and pulled him into an alleyway. He says, hey kid. As he looks the person right in the eye and says, what do you want from me, young lady? Enough of the flattery. as a woman with dark skin and, well, bright white hair and big ears, uh, with very, a very confident smile, says, "Join my agency." Says, "I'm sorry? Internships. Join my agency." And it's like, "Okay, but would you let me go? If I don't know who I'm going to join, well, it'll be kinda hard." Says, "Alright then." And she lets me go and says, "The name's, well, I'm the rabbit here, Mirko. And I know all about you, so you don't need to introduce yourself. I like you." "Well, that's very flattering, but at least I must go on a date before somebody at least professes their love to me." "You're a cheeky little bird, aren't you? However, that sharp tongue, but that excellent physique, and, well, mind, is why I sought you out for my agency. I might be a new hero into this only about 5 years in. However, I know talent when I see it, and you're certainly the textbook definition of it. Well, if you weren't pulling out the flattery before, you are now." "Well, I don't do this just about anybody. However, I gotta see if that talent matches up." As he says, "Oh? So I wanted to come measure you myself rather than just handing you an application. So, how do you want to do this? One-on-one, 5 minutes. If you can land a hit on me, I'll let you, I'll let you join. And if I don't, well, I assume I'll get you to do one favor for me. Alright, you're on. But if I'm going to, if you're going to get all the benefits, how about I also get a favor as well well, if you lose a challenge?" Says, "Alright, make it a deal." But then Mirko starts getting any fighting sense. They walk back into the alley as Deku squares up as well and says, "Hmm, looks like you're at a disadvantage." And says, she's just smirks and says, "I don't think so, kid. You think I'll be at a disadvantage in a place like this?" And she starts springing around, jumping between the buildings and, well, punching down at the ground as Deku just dodges out the way and says, if anything, you're at a disadvantage here." As, well, she starts doing a flurry of, well, an onslaught of kicks as she keeps flying, bouncing around, similar to how Deku did during the Stain fight in canon, bouncing from wall to wall, not allowing her opponent to get a grasp of where she's going to land and counterattack. She keeps changing up every few moves. For someone as stubborn as she is, she's quite tactically, well, she's a tactical genius, fighting from side to side, as she managed to land a few blows on Deku. However, he seems to shrug them off with little difficulty. Says, "Come on, kid, where was that fighting spirit I saw in the festival? You gotta keep at it if you want to try and land a hit on me." And says, "Well, I think it's enough time." Says, "Time to reveal my hand." As he clicks his fingers, and a bunch of pink, invisible wires start glowing pink as it forms a perfect cage around. As, well, Miriko's about to hit her as she just said, "I don't think so." And, well, then she starts spinning into a powerful kick. "Luna, fall!" As she swipes away the bungee gum, however, from its position, using the air pressure from her kick. However, her foot was still going towards, Deku. Or Hisoka, I should say. Says, our little trick was only going to work once. Yeah, that trick was only going to work once, but how about this one? As he pulls his hand out, forward, right into a kick. As he spreads it between both of his hands, as it seems to elastise. Well, it seems to get her foot caught, as it kept propelling itself forward as it reached the tip of his nose. And then she bounced back. It's like, that was close. You could have had no nose, pretty boy. Heh, right that was. As she, then Mirako decides to try and, go for him, speed up more, see if he can handle it. And he was dodging, but just barely, using a sharp intuition and keen senses to give him just the edge enough for the speed difference. Says, well, sorry kid, but I don't like to take it easy on newbies. So I'm gonna have to kick your ass. Says, I'm sorry as well. Aren't giving up already? No. I'm sorry, but you lose here. As he yanks his hand forward and says, but I didn't even feel it on me. It's like, that's the thing. Texture surprise. As she gets yanked forward towards him, she tries to counteract another kick. However, it lined up directly with the bungee gum cord that was above his head. As he twisted the cords around enough so that she wouldn't get hurt. As he punched her in the leg just to spin her around and kind of catch her like somebody doing a beautiful, elegant dance. As he appeared to Rose out of nowhere, and then handed it to her as he was holding it like a Spanish cocktail dancer, and says, for you, my lady. Hopefully it can make up for the loss. Says, well, you're one hell of a performer, aren't you? Ain't you, Mr. Charmin? Says, I only do what I had to do. After all, I had to be a natural presenter. Yeah, kid. You don't want to let me go now? I don't think either of us wants to be seen like this. Says, I agree. As he lets go of the bungee gum cords and gets her situated back on her feet. Says, you're more clever than I gave you credit for. What do you mean? You think I couldn't tell? You couldn't even match up on my speed. However, you knew I was going to try and go for a frontal assault. Try and take you down fair and square instead of sneaking up from you from behind. However, I bet you had a few tricks up your sleeve just in case that did happen. As he says, you're quite clever. As, pink cords start appearing out of nowhere. From behind him. Says, looks like I was right to go with my gut instinct. Yes, it's very good to trust your own gut in these types of things, especially in the middle of a fight. But there's one thing I must say. Besides that ferocious fighting style of yours, it matches your beauty quite well. What, you got a crush or something, kid? No, just cool curiosity. After all, what does a young woman like yourself see in a person like me besides my ability to fight? Well, is there anything much other than trying to see somebody fight? I like a good challenge, and I thought you could give me one. And I was right. Does that answer your question? It most certainly does. Oh, and about that, um, well, about what I get when I win. I'll have, uh, how about we go out for dinner sometime? And it says, oh, try, trying to wine and dine me already? It wasn't my intention, but if you're willing, I'm more than happy to. Says, wow, yeah, you seem to be very cocky, trying to flirt with a 23-year-old. And just for context, I aged her down. So, she's just turned 23. Says, well, you never know unless you try. Isn't that what they say? Hm. Alright then. Alright then, kid. I'll send you a letter from my agency. And I'll let you know when you start. It says, I'll see you there. Well, show me what you can really do next time, instead of holding back. It's like, you seem to see right through me, don't you? Oh, I can read minds. Wait, seriously? It's like, shh, magician's secret. Alright, Mr. Magic Man, I'll bid you a good evening. Don't disappoint me. Oh, I won't, trust me. And, well, then the next day rolls around as people started coming in and started talking about their internships, as they were thinking, man, I really want to go with this dude. As Kyoshi was saying, I'm gonna go with, well, I'm gonna go with Four Kind. As, and Sue just says, well, I'm gonna go and, intern with this dude. Then they eventually came around to Hisoka. Said, who are you gonna go with, Hisoka? I'm gonna go with Mirako. As some people just basically just stopped in the middle of their tracks. They just said, Mirako? Yes, is there something wrong now? I mean, no, but why her? Well, I can't afford her last night. Wait, what? You fought a pro hero? Why? Says, well, she said she wanted me in her agency. And to prove that I wasn't just a waste of time for coming all the way out there to find me, she, well, she thought it'd be best to test my own strength in an alleyway. So, we fought when no one can see us. It's like, that's crazy. Who won? Oh, I won, of course, but however, I can tell she was holding back quite a lot. Obviously, she's a pro hero for a reason. So, I doubt I could win against her where I am now. However, I don't plan on staying like this for long. So, I plan to use her as a skipping stone. Find the new road to, strength. Well, a lot of people are just, at this point, are just a bit weirded out with his whole strength spiel. They are still quite surprised that he fought against Mirako and even won. And, well, so, they just go out and, then they just go out and get the applications signed off. And then go and get their new hero costumes, as some of them had submitted redesigns. As, well, Deku is quite similar. It's still the same, however, this time it included a little mask as well. However, he always kept it inside his little coat. As, He thought he could use it in a rainy day. So, he went out to finally go meet Mirka. As he said, well, looks like you're here now, kid. Says, been a while. Are you still sore that you lost? Says like, well, I can always beat your ass properly and see how you like that one. So you are a sore loser. Watch it, or I might actually have to kick your ass. Oh, I enjoy the challenge. It says, I know you're just trying to provoke me, but it's really working. Please, feel free to kick my ass any time. However, just know that every time I do so, I get stronger. Oh? And why is that? Because I learn to study, adapt, become even better at what I do best. And that is fighting. It's like, so then, I should kick your ass after all. Go ahead, I'll be happy to spar. As well, she squares up and then gets ready. As she starts going, she gets into an attack position, and I would say they go out into a field while doing this. As well, she started doing the same kind of movements as she did with Deku in the alleyway. However, they seem to be a lot faster and a lot more precise. As she's more open, she's more used to an open field. As she seemed to have more of an advantage. However, Deku knew a lot of her moves, so to try and counteract that, she threw a few new ones there to throw him off balance. He still stuck to the ground firmly, and not having, unwavering conviction. So, what he did to keep himself, he kept himself in a wide open stance. As Mirka just says, you're wide open. I can attack you from any angle anytime I wanted to. As he just says, go ahead. People would describe me as a masochist. I like to feel the pain. So bring it, he says. Now you're talking, kid. Just what I like. Someone who likes to get the shit beaten out of them. And she cracks her knuckles in her neck. And then she charges at him full sprint using, flipping a few times for flying down a powerful kick. As it landed right against Deku's chest, as he was blocking it with both arms as well. He says, huh, pretty tough, kid. Didn't even budge. Yeah, a little secret. I kinda cheat a bit when I stick myself to the ground. As he starts glowing, purplish as well. As he pulls his fist back and just says, well, time for me to show you what I can do with another part of my quirk. Bungee gum has both properties of rubber and gum. Therefore, it has potential energy stored in it. And I got this from watching a pro hero. As he pulls his fist back, as Mirko tries to dodge it. However, when she made contact with him, her leg was stuck with a cord. As he pulled her forward and punched her right in the gut, sending her flying upwards. As all the energy from a kick, which, considering it's one of Mirko's kicks, could easily shatter bones. However, he used a lot of the bungee gum's ability for elasticity to store the energy from the kick, as he redistributed into his arm, sending her flying upwards. Says, now that's a strong one, kid. However, not strong enough. As she flips back down and uses the momentum to do an axe kick to his head as he slams into the ground. And she lays down and is huffing puffing. Oh shit, I did it. I did it again. As, well, she runs over and says, "Kid, I didn't kill you, did I?" As a voice from behind is like, "You didn't kill me that easily." As, well, she turns around to see, well, another Hisoka. This one had a vein of blood running across his head. And says, "From that impact, all the dust that got launched up in the air, I allowed myself to, some cover. And then I got out of there, using texture surprise on a chunk of rock to, well, act as my body. As the body starts slowly fading. And then it's like, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, what's pretty impressive is I think you fractured my skull." "Ah, shit. We need to go to recovery girl, don't we?" "Says no need. I'll be fine." "Don't be stupid. Even I know when you should quit. Just rest, come on. I don't want to fight someone who'll fall over and cock out any minute now. Won't be any fun for either of us." And says, "No, I'll be fine." "Why are you so stubborn about this anyway? Do you not like doctors or something?" "No, in fact, I do like them a lot. They recover people. They rest and heal. So then why are you not going to go see the nurse? Or that old hag?" "Because I have simply no need to." "Would you mind telling me why exactly you don't need to?" Says, "Well, it's not bleeding anymore." "What do you mean it's not bleeding anymore?" "Well, I found out a neat little trick." "Oh yeah, what's that?" "Well, since my bungee gum is a physical property, that is, well, that is quite indistinguishable, and if I use my texture surprise, it's, well, immediately indistinguishable. Therefore, I'm able to heal the veins by, well, binding them back together, using the bungee gum as my body builds over it. It builds brand new veins, blood vessels, and arteries. Therefore, I'm able to patch myself up without even having to do anything. And then I can get back on with what I'm doing." "Impressive. It seems that every time you seem to show me your quirk, you have another way of using it." "Well, people like you and me who have very simple quirks can't afford to be flashy. Because it seems that they're not, well, mine was more built that way. However, it's very simple. Your quirk gives you increased strength, speed, and endurance. However, mine only gives me the ability to make this substance, as well as alter it at will. So, being creative with how you apply it is certainly make or break. Hell, this will be able to make my combat ability even better. As you saw, I can enhance my punches by absorbing blows from other people, and redirecting it back at them. And I can obviously patch myself up in the middle of battle. And, yeah. So, yeah, see my tricks. Do you have any more of your own? Nah, I'm too dumb for that kind of thing. I prefer to talk complicated with my fists and legs. Says, I understand all too well. Trust me. I was so proficient in this language that I got a full scholarship. Now you speak in my language. As they go back to sparring for about 2 more hours, as they're both puffed out. As they continue this for about 3 days, and on the day before, Friday, so it's Thursday. So on Thursday, Miracle decides to say, "Are you free tonight, kid?" Says, "Yeah, I'm free." "Why?" "Well, you wanted that dinner, didn't you?" "Huh. If you just didn't say anything, you probably would have forgotten about it." "Ah, shit. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't care anyway." "So, how about it? My friend was a manager at a popular place. You can get his reservations if you like." Says, "Sure. What time do you want me to be there?" 6 o'clock sharp, and bring something formal. It's one of those high-class things I never really bothered to be at, but considering that, well, you were a fun, you're a fun person to play with, I consider it's only right that I treat you to something." As well, and they both laughed a bit and said, "All right then, I'll meet you at 6 o'clock." It's like, "You better not be late or I'm kicking your ass." All right, all right. So after they've done after they did all the hero stuff, they both parted ways about 4 o'clock, as Deku had already got home and was getting changed. And he said, "Hey Mum, I'll be out for a while." He says, "Oh, is there a reason why, honey?" Well, I'm going on a date of sorts." A, a date? When did you get a girlfriend?" "Well, it's not really a girlfriend kind of thing. It's just a day between a couple of friends, I guess." "Oh, I see. And who is your friend?" "Mirako." As well, she was sipping on some tea and she just goes, "What? Mirako? The rabbit hero?" Says, "Yeah, I've been training at her agency for the past week now." "Well, I, before she, before I was in her agency, we had a bit of a sparring match and I won. So, as a prize, I said, let's go out for dinner sometime. And tonight's the lucky night." As, well, he puts on one of his suits that he has lying around. As even comes with its own accessories. He's got the drip, guys. He still wears the choker and still has he still has the pink hair. However, he combs it back. Well, he combs it back and actually doesn't have the makeup on. His face is naturally pale, so he doesn't need the white makeup. That's what I think he does. He still has the earrings in and the choker, of course. He even has a little thrown overcoat hanging on his shoulder. But he just has a tailored dress suit. As he gets in front of the place at 6 o'clock sharp and says, "Good, you're on time." Says, "Oh, there you are," as he turns around and sees Mirako wearing a Chinese dress. If you know if you don't know what they exactly look like, just look up Chun-Li. That kind of dress. Perfect. As she's wearing a red Chinese dress, symbolizing, the fact that she liked a bunch of Chinese culture, as it was showing off her legs and her feminine, the tongue tied today, feminine side. Fucking, I'm just having a good day right now. Feminine side. There we go. As it says, "What? What are you staring at? Did I wear this thing wrong? I got told by my friends I should wear one of these things. Says no, you look absolutely stunning. As he reaches his hands out and he reaches for her hand, cuffs it in his own, and then gives her a kiss on the hand. So, well, my lady, shall we go inside? As he says, well, aren't you a proper gentleman today? Well, I might be a fool in front of others. I can only be the most serious with you. Someone I consider to be my equal, if not superior. And don't you dare forget it. As, well, they walk inside as they say, we got a reservation under Miracle. And they said, right this way, ma'am. And so, they start, well, they head to their private table at the back, right overlooking the restaurant. As it was quite a good one. As her friend who actually worked as the manager of the place, she was giving her a thumbs up. As since he had his hair slicked back and was wearing all the fancy clothes, he looked a lot older than he was, and he was quite charming and very handsome. Because I'm pretty sure any of the women that watch my series would know that Hisoka in the series does look good. God, I get so many gay ships from him. So he obviously is very attractive. And says, sorry if I'm not really used to these kinds of formal things. No, it's quite alright, Miriko. I can understand, not being accustomed to it, because you'd much rather pretty sure you'd much rather beat up villains than be sitting here right now. And, and says, I got one thing right. However, I seem to get used to this. It's not so bad, I guess. As, well, they started talking a bit. Then, Deku just asked, Hisoka asks Mirako something. As he said, Mirako, I just wanted to ask, because I can tell him, I can probably infer the answer, but I want to hear it myself. What was it like for someone like you who loved combat and strength growing up and trying to become a hero? It says, I'm straight to the point tonight, aren't we, kid? And, she just says, oh, and stop calling me Mirako. As it said, oh, do you not like being called that? It's like, no, it's not that. Just call me Broomy when it's between the two of us. You're not just a student to me. You seem to be a good friend and sparring partner. Better than most heroes I know. And says, well, thank you. No worries. And to answer your question, it was quite a tough experience. I always used to get bullied about my ears. How I should have been a cute girl. I should have just been like every other one. That my quirk was not suited to being a hero. I just meant there to look pretty. However, I just wanted to fight. I want to kick ass and take names. I want to take down those disgusting villains who think it's right to run amok in our society. But everybody said no. They thought I should just give up. So, if you're looking for an answer, it was quite hard growing up. Why, is it the same for you? Well, while not having exactly the same, we both had a hunger for battle. And I guess that's why I can call you my closest friend. That's quite sad. Why is that? You haven't even known me for more than 2 weeks yet. I don't have to know you for so long just to get a read of your personality. You might have a hard exterior, however I know you're a kind person. You and you may not admit it, but you do have a soft side. So let's say that again, I'll punch you. It says, you only prove my point more. However, that's what I like about you. You're not afraid to get to the point, and for that, not only have you gained my respect, but also my admiration, and my interest as well. However, I'm not going to plan on saying if, well, if I know it isn't exactly going to work. But I will freely admit that you are very attractive, but it's not your looks that I'm after. It's your personality and power. Your ability to fight. Says, well, you're straight to the point too, aren't you? I guess, but, well, I got nothing to retort. Exactly. Huh. Are you trying to come on to an old woman like me? Says, a woman like you is only in the prime of her life. A flower ready to be picked, but a flower whose beauty, well, surpasses them all. As, well, they just eat the meal and just keep talking along. As, well, the night goes underway as they, they finally finish up their meal and then head out after talking some more. As they decide to go take a bit of a walk. As, well, they start seeing, they start seeing some shady looking guys on the path they're going to. As one of them, well, they didn't recognize who it was without the costume. And as Mirko had her ears down, as she was wearing, well, a headband, because she had her hair tied back into a bun, so she had her ears pointed down with, well, with the band. As she was like, "Hey, cutie, come on, don't hang out with this loser. Come hang out with us, have some fun." She was getting ready to, well, she was getting ready to attack them. He stopped her and's like, "Oh, let's see what this boyfriend's gonna do. Come on, you don't deserve to be with someone like her." As they tried to grab her arm, as he just simply he grabs, well, one of the guy's hands and says, "Oh, is he acting tough?" And said, "I was only just saving you the hassle of having a few more broken bones than what I was already going to give you." "Oh, look who's acting tough. Get him, boys." And as, well, they started approaching as, well, America tried to get Sun to intervene, as he said, "Please, just let me. After all, I still have some energy left over." As the two guys go up and approach, start throwing fists at him, as he dodges past them, as he's simply dancing around them, almost like it was a choreographed routine. Go like, "Go on, dude, he's just one guy. Can't you hit him?" And said, "Fuck, you keep him distracted. I'll go after the girl." As, well, he tried to go towards Mirko. She was raising a fist and was about to throw it towards, well, his face. As Deku pulled him back and says, "Like I said, let me handle this." As all three of them started, well, ganging up on Deku as he was dodging and weaving, as when he jumped up and in the moonlight, shining, glistening around him, like a halo from the heavens, he said, "This is going to be a beautiful show tonight." As he throws down a few playing cards that they had stuffed away in his pocket, as they stick to the appendages of all the idiots, as he starts controlling them like, well, a puppeteer. As he starts reenacting a recital to a play, as it says, "Why don't you sit down, and I'll let the show begin." As well, she sits down on a bench and watches while laughing to herself. As he starts making them, well, he starts turning them into little ballerinas. As they were groaning in pain as they did not know they could twist it this way. As they're dancing and pirouetting throughout in the illuminated night sky. They were, well, by the end they were just begging for mercy and said, "Please, please," says, we need to reach the crescendo. As he starts waving his hands around like, well, like a composer, and says, "Now for the final scene." As he twists them all around as they start going flying in the air. They start spinning around and around him. As he says, "And for my final masterpiece." He bends down and, well, gives a bow and pulls his arm down as they all slam together with a loud thud and fall hanging, and using the texture surprise on his bungee gum, creating a beautiful sparkle as it sparkled in the moonlight, creating like shooting a wishing star. It's like as he hopped down, well, they fell back down unconscious on the ground. It says, "I do believe that was a satisfying play." It says, "Yes, I do think it was. You should kick those guys' asses, and quite beautifully, I might add." It says, "Well, thank you." It says, "Now let us finish our walk. After all, I can't leave a lady waiting." As he offers his hand out, as she takes it. Being stubborn, well, she hesitated at first, however, she decided to allow him, as they were just walking, holding hands, as it was helpful to have kind of saying thanks. As they, he walks up to, well, where she where she had to go, and says, "Well, Rumi, I bid you a good night." As, well, he said, hunches over a bit as he's giving his praises. As, well, she said, "What are you looking at?" Says, "Oh my, I'm sorry." As he looks up, as she gives him a kiss on the lips. As she pulls back and as he says, "Oh my, isn't that rather bold?" Says, "Call it a gift for the excellent show. Anyway, don't think, well, don't stay up too late dreaming about that. Otherwise, you'll be up all night, and I don't want to be tired and sluggish to fight against tomorrow." Says, "Well, you might be in my dreams tonight. However, that's where I want to be if I want to meet you, so I don't want to exactly stay up all night. So I'll bid you a good night, my lady." As then he would let her go. And this is where I'm going to leave off part 6 to What If Deku Was Hisoka, also known as the fucking Chad Simp Man Alpha Male. Basically, you can class him as anything and he'll still be a fucking Chad. So got that big dick energy right there. No, who knows, you might know it, you might find it soon. Anyway, This is my beautiful, finally building up to a ship part, except it's not really a ship, but it's more like an admiration. But anyway, I've been thinking of Underworld and extremely tired in Australian right now. And peace out, my guys.